Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A federal judge has denied the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe's request for a preliminary injunction in the tribe's lawsuit regarding the Dakota Access Pipeline. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. What this means is that the oil company will be allowed to continue building that pipeline. But that may not be the last word. Samantha Jo Roth has been following the case in Washington and has more on today's decision.
This is the judge's written ruling rejecting the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe's request for a preliminary injunction, and what this means is the oil company can continue to build the pipeline according to schedule. It was a major victory for both the Army Corps of Engineers and Dakota Access in federal court today in Washington, D.C. Judge James E. Boasberg sided with federal regulators, allowing construction to continue on the 1,100-mile Dakota Access Pipeline as scheduled. North Dakota Congressman Kevin Kramer says the Army Corps of Engineers followed proper protocol, pointing out the route of the pipeline changed several times after other tribes raised concerns.
The fact that several tribes did participate in consultation early on is an indication that the court did its job, and that coming in late with a complaint puts you at a disadvantage, and I think that's clear.
Now, this ruling isn't likely to settle this dispute. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe has said that they plan to appeal this decision. Judge James E. Boasberg has scheduled a status conference for next week. This could leave the door open for more discussions. For now, in Washington, Samantha Jo Roth reporting.
All right, we'll have much more on this story on Valley News Live at 6. An assistant professor in the University of North Dakota's aviation department has been arrested on child porn charges. Eric Bazel was formally charged in Grand Forks District Court this afternoon. When officers executed search warrants, they seized multiple computers and electronic devices from Eric Bazel's home and office at UND. They found multiple images of child pornography on his school-issued computer. Court documents say Bazel told police he collected roughly 100 images and videos from a website. Bazel remains in the Grand Forks County Jail on a bond of $100,000 cash. He has been put on administrative leave by UND. We're heading into the weekend on a quiet note. Does that mean tonight is looking mild too? Let's find out from Hutch Johnson over in the Weather Center. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. It is a cooler day with plenty of clouds across the valley. Not all of those clouds producing rain, but for some we have a little bit of umbrella worries out there. Just a few miles north of Fargo, a little thunder shower trying to develop near Harwood. It is moving due east, so it should not impact us here in much of the metro area, although in northern Clay County we'll see a fast-moving shower. Clearbrook also having some rain showers pressing into your area. No lightning with that one over the last hour. And western Stutsman County, specifically from Medina down towards Gackle, we're seeing some showers moving from north to south-southeast here over the last hour or two. That's where the shower chances will be the best. Temperatures in the 60s this evening for almost everyone, Andrea. We will have some warmer weather and drier weather for the weekend. I'll have details on that in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. No criminal charges are going to be filed in connection with a deadly crash involving a school bus and semi nearly a year ago. It happened on Highway 46 near Kindred. Catherine Josted was driving the bus. Investigators say the truck pulled out in front of Josted's bus, which plowed into the semi's trailer on the driver's side. Josted was rushed to the hospital but later died of her injuries. The report from the state's attorney's office says she had the right-of-way and that the truck driver did not yield. But it continues. The weather was a complicating factor in the crash. The state's attorney's office says criminal charges require proof beyond a reasonable doubt to the satisfaction of a unanimous jury. After reviewing all of the circumstances, I do not believe I would persuade a jury to criminally convict. And because of that, prosecutors say they believe it would not be possible to convince a jury to convict the driver in a criminal case. There were 38 people on that bus, 34 of them students. None required medical attention. A suspicious backpack caused the evacuation of the Grand Forks County Courthouse this morning. An unattended backpack was found lying on the south steps of the courthouse at 9:30. The building was evacuated and the Grand Forks bomb squad was called in to investigate. It turns out the contents of the backpack were harmless.
Actually, they x-rayed it, seen what was in there. It appeared that it was up to the bomb team leader as far as he appeared. It was just a bunch of papers, notebooks, that type of thing.
Okay. Everybody's got to be careful nowadays.
Everybody has to be careful. Of course, with the 15th anniversary of 911, you never know, even in North Dakota.
The courthouse had to be evacuated for an hour and 15 minutes until everyone was given the okay to return to work. 61 for 61 is a major fundraiser in the local battle against cancer. It's named in honor of Fargo native and Major League Baseball home run king Roger Maris. People can stop by the family fair on 25th Street South, make a donation, and write a note on the honor memorial wall. The public is also encouraged to come to the candlelight ceremony tonight at 8:15. Today is the 18th year of the event, which includes a cookout, silent auction, and home run walk. The father of NDSU running back Chase Morlock is currently fighting cancer. He says it's not just a battle for him, but his entire family.
It ends up being a whole experience there for everyone, and you just got to try to move forward. Like I said before, you can't really dwell on the past, why, all that sort of stuff. Move forward, try to see what you can do to combat it, and try to be as positive as you can, because that does help.
The cookouts are still happening, and the home run walk kicks off tonight at 6 o'clock. You can learn more about 61 for 61 on our website. The Minnesota DFL is petitioning the state Supreme Court to remove Donald Trump and Mike Pence from the ballot in November. DFL Chair Ken Martin says it is apparent that clear errors occurred in the Republican process of selecting alternative electors for getting Donald Trump on the Minnesota ballot. The Minnesota DFL says the Republican Party didn't pick alternate presidential electors at the state convention earlier this year, something they say is a violation of state law. Defying a veto threat from the Obama administration, the House of Representatives passed a bill today that would allow terror victims of the attacks on September 11th to sue Saudi Arabia. The Senate passed the measure in May, but the administration argued it would complicate diplomatic relations. The vote to send the bill to the president comes 2 days before the 15th anniversary of the attacks that killed nearly 3,000 Americans. And of course, you can watch all the action on KVLY as we kick off another year of Bison football. Saturday's coverage begins at 1:30 with the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show. That leads you right up to the 2:30 kickoff between NDSU and Eastern Washington. And don't forget, former Bison standout Carson Wentz will be making his NFL debut Sunday, and you can watch it on KX4. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Cleveland Browns with Wentz starting as quarterback. The game kicks off at noon. Right now, our social services are overburdened. That's the sentiment expressed yesterday by Cass County Commissioner Chad Peterson. Commissioner Peterson said at a quarterly refugee advisory meeting that he would like to see resettlement more evenly spread statewide, not just centered in the Fargo area. So is this true? Are the local social services overburdened by the current setup? Valley News Team's immigration and relocation reporter Bradford Eric investigates.
Lutheran Social Services says in the last year, North Dakota took in 516 people, mostly from Bhutan, Iraq, and Somalia, 70% of those landing in the Fargo area. Commissioner Peterson's sentiment that Cass County cannot bear the brunt of this program isn't the first time it's happened.
Essentially, that's what I want to figure out. What does it actually cost? Because nobody seems to know. I've seen studies online that say each refugee immigrant costs $260,000 or $220,000. I don't care what it is, whether it's social services, whether it's law enforcement, what have you. The unfunded mandates are what really put the strain on property taxes.
Federal numbers show that North Dakota received over $1.8 million from the U.S. government, more than $500,000 going to Cass County alone to pay for such things as temporary assistance to needy families and supplemental nutrition assistance program. Why is this important? The federal government says refugees automatically qualify for federal assistance programs, and a large percentage use them. 91.4% who come from the Middle East are receiving food stamps nationwide. Over 80% of African refugees and over 74% from Southeast Asia also receive SNAP assistance. How much is this costing you? A UC Berkeley study says social services cost nearly $153 billion annually, which boiled down amounts to about $875 per person. So what is the burden in Cass County? LSS points to statistics showing 86% of refugees are employed in the labor force, but less than 60% are actually able to be in the workforce. In Fargo, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Just about a year ago, we asked you your thoughts about resettlement in the Fargo area. At that time, over half of you said you do not support the program. If you're looking for something to do in the Northern Valley this weekend, things are already hopping in downtown Grand Forks. It's Grand Forks' first downtown street fair. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us what's going on.
The downtown Grand Forks Street Fair is underway. Flying Joe is set to take the stage at 6 p.m. And there's a lot more to come tonight and all day Saturday.
In fact, there will be 20 different groups performing on 4 different stages downtown. There are performances geared toward kids and adults. Plus, there are dozens of food vendors.
Deep fried cheese curds.
All right, what's the secret ingredients in that?
Well, this batch I'm doing is bacon.
And it's healthy for you too, isn't it?
Oh, low fat.
Perfect. Thank you. You have a good day. You too.
So you got some low-cal mini donuts?
Yes, locale.
And there are dozens of retail vendors set up in tents along 3rd and 4th Streets, ready to show you all kinds of products you just might not see every day.
They are photographs, and some of them I mess with editing just to give it a unique capture.
Okay. They all have the look of a painting.
They do, yeah.
We have a raw local honey from the Little Apiary, located near Hendrum, Minnesota, just a little bit south of Grand Forks. It's we think our honey is unique because it's managed entirely without chemicals.
It tastes very good, all of them, but I like the dark one over here.
So whether you're in the mood for shopping, something to eat or drink, or maybe just sit back and watch some entertainment, admission is free, and it's going on right now in downtown Grand Forks. Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
That street fair runs until 8 o'clock tonight and from 10 to 8 tomorrow, followed by a street dance. We have a full schedule of events listed online at valleynewslive.com. There are fears your toddler could choke on certain pacifier clips. We've got details of a recall still ahead tonight.
But next, our temperatures cooled off under some clouds and northwest flow across the valley. Low 70s is all we could muster. Warmer weather for the weekend ahead will get you through your Friday night and tell you all about the weekend next.